This week, nothing happened. No, seriously, nothing happens worth reporting. No, please don't. Please don't go anywhere. The last time I did this joke, it was June of 1861. Now it's February 1863. 20 months. I forgot to mention some things in that time, so I hope to rectify that here and now. Thank God I don't have to wear that costume. First, politics. I like to talk about politics. It's one of my favorite aspects of the war, especially congressional machinations. I hope that I have conveyed the changing state of American politics for the 37th Congress and the 1862 elections. I also enjoy talking about the executive branch and the games played in the White House. There's one branch I haven't really covered, the judicial branch. There haven't been any cases for me to cover, but there is something I've really dropped the ball on. Lincoln has appointed 3 judges, Justice Swain, Justice Miller, and Justice Davis. I should have covered these. But I wasn't told by any of my sources that these happened. While I should have looked out for them, I sadly didn't. Going forward, I will be covering the Supreme Court whenever I can. I now have special sources I check regarding their activities. Thank God I moved the teleprompter out of the way, or else people might think I'm talking to the camera. Well, second is skirmishes. I try really hard to find every little thing, but also I need sources that can give me information I can actually write about, and they don't always exist. Also, not every skirmish is covered in my sources. Stuff goes unsaid, even in Civil War day by day. Love you, buddy. The small stuff is the bread and butter of this channel, but there's just a lot going on, and things slip through the cracks. I get this more in the frame. Third is movements. Armies don't teleport, sadly. They march and maneuver and do all kinds of motions. I usually cover these when a battle happens, but sometimes I don't. And that's because, again, my sources. Movies don't get a large amount of book space. Also, it's not just my sources, though I do love finger pointing. I don't know how to make walking exciting, so they sometimes just get skipped. Okay, now that I get to move the camera, I'm sure think that they won't mind the change in angles. Okay. Oh God, my script written in ADHD mania. Well, fourth is stories. Here's what I teased. Sergeant Kirkland, the hero of Fredericksburg, or the angel of Mare's Heights. He was in General Kershaw's brigade, and after the carnage of the Battle of Fredericksburg and the pleading of the wounded men on the field, well, it moved Sergeant Kirkland, who needed to help them. He goes to Kershaw and requests to be allowed to aid the wounded soldiers. He is denied. He then begs, and is finally given permission. But he can't fight any white symbols to prove that he is not a combatant. Alright, sir, I'll take my chances. Now that I moved the camera, I'm sure that will just aid in the storytelling. My ADHD mania writing will save the day. He fills up all the canteens he can to the brink with water and hops the wall. Both sides just stare at each other. If the Union fires, the Confederates will have to return fire, and vice versa. Kirkland moves forward, eerie silence. He moves from one soldier to the next, handing out water. For an hour and a half, he provided any aid he could to both sides. Not a shot was fired. All were helped. A great story, but not one that fits well into my week-by-week style. I have made exceptions, but the mere length of the Fredericksburg video, well, it wore me out. There are many great stories during the 20 months I haven't covered. It's a combination of my personal ability, sources, time, and etc. Now back to the Civil War. I feel like someone's been in my chair. Back to what I normally do. There is Sickles. With the triumvirate in charge, Generals Hooker, Butterfield, and Sickles begin to enjoy themselves. They drink moderately and enjoy the company of the fairer sex. This isn't to say drunkenness and whoring. They're just being normal, surrounded by holier-than-thou officers who are quite jealous of the success of the 3. No, seriously, did anyone sit in my chair? Men of blemish character. During the winter when Hooker was in command, I can say from personal knowledge and experience that the headquarters of the Army of the Potomac was a place to which no self-respecting man would like to go, and no decent woman would go. It was a combination of barroom and brothel. Sickles is rated as Devil Dan. Hooker and Butterfield are insulted in many ways, but there's just one problem with this brothel. Whores aren't in the Army of the Potomac's camp. You have to go to a good hour's walk with half a dollar in your... Never mind. This brothel was worked by mothers and wives of officers and dignitaries. So much for this whorehouse that Captain Adams speaks of. And that's where the week ends, with quite a bit happening. That's the final shoot. We did it, guys! It's the entire Civil War week by week team here. And I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who has stayed with me this entire time. It was a lot of fun to write this episode, try to get my, well, admittedly terrible writing skills to parry them a little bit. A lot of the mistakes I make in the shooting, I do. And it just never really occurred to me how much I really do just appreciate doing this series, just having all this equipment that I've used in the past surrounding me. I mean, it was a very nice episode to make, really. For those who have been around here since the first episode, thank you. I don't think there's a lot of you, probably. For those of you joined later, thank you for finding me. For those who will probably find me off of this video, I hope you do stick around. For my Patreons, from Rick to Kevin to John Fox to Sam Aronell, a fellow YouTuber who has helped me to make, the thumbnail for this video, the stuff I used to cover text, he also made maps I use. It's an honor to work with you. I really enjoy your comment. Field Marshal, who I've worked with, collaborator, went from a mentor to now a friend. Warhawk, I remember I shouted you out probably at the last minute where I had more subscribers than you. And I'm just very glad that you guys took off. You 100% deserve it. I'm just, once again, so thankful. If it wasn't for you guys, I probably would have given up on this. And this series helped me in college. It's, well, not in college, it helped me get into a college. Helped me meet so many people I wouldn't have met otherwise. It's just a lot of work to do. I put in hours, but you see, I don't really get anything out of this financially per se. I have patrons who help me with the cost of this stuff, but I am so happy I get to do this. I'm so happy that people watch me. I really do just appreciate every single moment of this. I know I'll probably have to repeat this to myself when I'm angry, but it's just, there's nothing I would rather do than be the entire Civil War week by week team. Okay, that's a wrap. We did it.